Welcome back, and what can we say? What an event. Rob and I decided that we better have a chat with everyone and just express our gratitude and have a chat. And just to start with tonight, we've got Terence again from Dad on a Leash Media, who's doing the recording for us. And what he does is he does weddings and events. And thanks for your time, Terence.
Yeah, it's awesome that he's come out to actually help us out. As we originally stated, sponsors make the day and the event happen, and Terence has certainly got our name out there. He's done a podcast with us before with Alfie and Brad, and that got a lot of views, and a lot of excitement was generated from that podcast itself. So thank you very much, Terence, for coming in and helping us out with regards to this whole podcast. That's awesome.
Yeah, and just a little backstory. So Terence goes way, way back with myself, and we went riding in Salt Rock when I was about 12 on a YZ80. Terence was probably on a YZ100. And Rod Bergstrom took us, and happy birthday, Rod. It's your birthday today, so Rob and I wanted to just say happy birthday.
Yeah, 71
and anyway,
today.
72, right?
72, yes. Happy birthday, Ryder.
So, happy birthday, Ryder. And then, just on that event where we went riding when I was 12, we went into the sugarcane, and we got chased by a farmer with a shotgun. So that's one of those good old stories that we can always refer back to when we were riding in places that we shouldn't have been riding.
Yeah, I'm glad he missed.
I'm very glad he missed as well. But thanks, Terence. But Rob, let's get on to it. I mean, 2 weeks out from the event, I don't know how else to put this, but that was an amazing, amazing day. And congratulations to the whole committee.
Yeah. Firstly, yes, I want to reiterate that 100%. Thank you all to the Hammarsdale Harriers committee that actually got stuck in. There's lots of guys that put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money, their own personal investment into making the day happen. And we'll get to the sponsors and what have you, but just as a start, thank you very much to all the Hammarsdale Harriers committee for making this happen, pulling all the strings from the old school days of motocross, getting all the old contacts together, getting the roundup of all the people to come out and helpful and ask them for their support. And it's amazing how the motocross community actually came together so nicely for this event. People were falling over themselves to come and help us out. We had guys coming and doing the commentary on the day. We didn't expect to get 3 guys to come out and share the duties.
They were absolutely
it was
brilliant,
amazing.
I think.
And what was so awesome is that they were so invested in the day. They raced with the guys back in the day, so they knew everyone. There wasn't anyone that didn't know. They knew the backstories of everyone. They'd put in color on the commentary. It was fantastic just to be a spectator. I mean, we were so busy, obviously, with the day and what have you, but we, just to sit back and listen to other guys racing, and then they would put in color. And this guy was, Brett Redmond, multiple champion. He was this, he was that. They went through it. They knew the history of every single rider. They knew who they were. They raced against him. It created so much color to the actual event. It was really exciting just to be a spectator, let alone be on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. And to hear those voices again was really also just, it brought back so many memories. To hear Laren and Daryl and Hilton Warmbach.
Yeah,
that was really, really well done, guys. So thank you for that. And then that was just the start. I mean, the committee is obviously Billy and Lynn Gagain, Rob and myself, Rod Bergstrom, Sean Tormey, and my wife Karen has also been involved. And
Kevin Sparg, and Brendan Crooks, very much so. Brendan Crooks, he'd invested a lot of time, a lot of money into getting the machine work. The amount of work, guys, it is unbelievable, the amount of work that we had to get through to just get the facility in the way it was. What you saw on the day was basically 3 months worth of work in machine work, in bush cutting and bush clearing and at TLBs. And I mean, it was just an amazing effort from the team.
Brush
and
cutters, cutting down trees,
and the labor that we organized to come and help out, sorting the road out. Really, really, it's a big thank you to the guys that put in the hard graft. As I said, we'll get to the sponsors in a minute, but first and foremost, thank you so much to the team, the Hammarsdale Harriers team. It was a fantastic effort, and nobody complained if there was people that needed to invest their time to be on the track to help the driver, shape jumps, all the rest of it. Guys stood there all day in the hot day sun, gave up their time to be there. It was fantastic effort. And I really, really do appreciate it, because in the end, what we saw on the day was more than we ever expected. I mean, it was a spectacular attendance, and it was a great turnout as far as the riders are concerned. I mean, Blaine, on the same day they had the national, didn't they?
Yeah, they had national and PE on the same day.
Yeah, so I mean, from that perspective, if you got all the national riders now racing on the national event, unfortunately, the timing just happened to coincide with the national being on the same day. Hopefully, in time to come, if we do another event, we have a look at that and try and cater for those riders as such. But I just felt that the guys that put in the effort to come out for the race day, I mean, we had, how many riders do we end up in?
127 in total with
127
the
kids. In total. I mean, we compared that to the national day. There were 114
I think, yeah.
114 riders that entered on the national day with 4 more classes than us. So a fantastic turnout and a fantastic investment in the hallowed ground of Hammarsdale, where everyone cut their teeth back in the day. It was fantastic. Really, really appreciate the investment that everyone put into the day. It was fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. And Rob, just to go back 20 steps, what was the reason we wanted to do the event from a Hammarsdale Harriers committee point of view?
Okay, so, I mean, obviously if you guys hadn't seen the first podcast, we introduced ourselves and we went about giving our motives for it. But just to reiterate, going back to where we started, we as a group had been riding Hammarsdale, and we realized that it was a facility that was actually going downhill as far as investment was concerned. We're all families where we still ride, and our kids are now coming through and they're riding as well. So it's a family sport that we wanted to keep a facility available to our kids so that they could have this facility to be able to ride the facility and practice. Motorsport is losing venues left, right, and center for whatever reason that they might have. It might be a financial reason, it might be a zoning reason, it might be sort of development and industry moving into those areas as such. And we wanted to reinvest back into the facility to make sure that it is there and available for us as a club, firstly, and secondly, for the general public to come and enjoy the facility as a motocross track and come and ride it and secure the future for the motocross community, for ourselves, our kids, and the motocross community. Because as I was saying earlier, it is a lot of facilities are very expensive to run, and it's difficult to maintain them. And we just felt that if we didn't keep Hammarsdale as a facility for everyone to come and enjoy, the industry itself would suffer for it. And yeah, so that was the primary reason, to get this day together so that we could actually gather some funds together so we could keep the track maintained for everyone to come and enjoy as a riding facility.
So yeah, I think we achieved the objective. The infrastructure has been built up a bit better than what it was. The tower obviously was done by Sean Tormey. The road, we obviously made the road in a lot better. We've made better parking facilities. And we've also looked after the track in terms of making sure that there's rain washaways so that the track doesn't deteriorate as much through the rainy seasons. So there's a lot of work in the background that we gave thought to, and I think that we've succeeded in the goal of what we wanted to achieve. And that's thanks to everyone who was invested.
Correct, yeah. So, I mean, look, in future, the funds that we have available, we're now going to have a look and make an assessment of what needs to be done next. If we are going to carry on hosting events, we haven't sat down as a committee to make commitments with regards to other events, but if we're going to do that, we obviously have to sit down and have a look at the facility itself and find out what else needs to happen with regards to either cutting platforms for more parking, making sure that whatever rain ruts...
Sorry to interrupt. That was one thing we lacked, is parking for spectators, which is a really nice problem that we had. We did not expect the turnout and to see all those old faces, even from a spectator point of view. I saw so many people that I haven't seen for many, many, many years. Craig Buck, one of them. I mean, there's just so many.
Do you know how many guys, Blaine, came up to me, but and you know how many guys came up to me and said to me, I can't believe there are so many guys that I actually haven't seen for 15 years that I've bumped into, and now I get to either, you know, do some bench racing with them and or actually be on the track and race with your mates. You know, like they came up to me and then they hadn't been there for years, and they'd now come to the event, and they're actually racing with their mates that they used to race with, and they used to go and have a couple of beers with after the races and all the rest of it. It was so nostalgic for them to be back in that environment, and they came up to me and they personally said, Rob, I really appreciate that you've done this for us, because we are sorely missing this in our, you know, in our society at the moment. Everyone needs this. Everyone needs to get back into it. It's a healthy sport, and just the camaraderie of the riders afterwards and all the rest of it. It was fantastic.
It was really amazing. I mean, I think Jason Willis has had the same tire on that bike for 12 years. I really feel sorry for the guys at RBS Yamaha, one of our sponsors, who had to change the tire of Jason Willis. Billy Joe Thomas, those guys are running Comrades in a couple of weeks' time. They came out on the road. They haven't raced for many, many years, and obviously that nostalgia of that whole RBS Yamaha racing team of the past was brought back to life. And
ballsy of them to race.
Ballsy of them to race.
Because they're doing the Comrades. They've trained the whole year to get through.
So close to Comrades, but appreciate them and their sponsor in terms of RBS, one of our sponsors. And amazing day.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So do you want to get through the sponsors? Yeah, I've got a
I think
long list.
Let's do we've got a lot of sponsors, guys, I think.
Okay, so I'm just going to read off the names, and I'm going to try my best to put in some color with regards to what they did and how they actually ended up sponsoring us. There were different types of sponsors. There were obviously sponsors for logistics, sponsors for prizes, sponsors for classes, and then title sponsors and cash prizes and the like. So what I'll do is I'll start off with logistics sponsors. So as far as logistics was concerned, first and foremost, Brendan Crooks, he sponsored a TLB and all the diesel for his TLB for a good half of, I would say, 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, you're burning 80 liters of diesel a day. I mean, that's a phenomenal sponsor. He's a very modest guy who's exceptionally generous to the motocross community, and we really, really do appreciate him being on our team and investing all that time, money, and effort into making sure that, you know, our track was in a pristine condition. Secondly, Tony Bennett, he's from AFI Africa. Tony had secured transport for the TLB to get from Brennan's farm in Eston all the way to Hammarsdale and transport it back again. So it was a great effort by Tony. Thank you so much. We had other sponsors for diesel.
Can I just take over, Rob, for a second? So we had other sponsors for diesel. So the Dynamic Automation, which was the Galway family, Dean was there on the day. Pity Gary couldn't be there, but absolutely, they assisted us with a whole lot of diesel as well. So just another logistics sponsor that we really want to thank.
Yeah. So then, what else did we have? We had some class sponsorships. So the 50cc Pro class was sponsored by Wetwork Plumbing. That's Clint Hart. Travis Hart, his son, is in the 50cc class in the national series, doing pretty well at the moment. So thank you so much for that sponsor, Clint. Hilton Warmbach, he sponsored the 85cc and Pro Mini class. We didn't have that, so that sponsorship moved over to the second VMX class. There were two VMX classes. We divided it up into air-cooled and water-cooled, so the GP bikes water-cooled. So Hilton sponsored that. We had Corinne Gorgain, Blaine's wife. She sponsored the 1 to 5 high school class. We had New Drayton Sun Farmer, who sponsored the ladies class, which was then transferred over to the Enduro support class. We had Keldon Auto Electrical, which was Grant van Groen. He sponsored the intermediate class. We had Graham Dix from Optima Tech Refrigeration. He sponsored the expert class. Keith Lyons, an old Hammarsdale faithful. He sponsored from Strays Footwear. He sponsored the vets class. And Kloof Lawnmower Centre, Paul Fenton also used to race with Keith Lyons back in the day. He sponsored the support class. So those are the class sponsorships. We then had some title sponsors, and you'll see the title sponsors over here on our race bib. Go ahead.
So SRG, which is my brother in Dubai, as well as Portable Shade, which is Mark Ackerman, also out of Dubai. They put some money together and assisted, and that was also just to promote and give back to South African motocross from their point of view. And just keep an eye out for SRG Motorsports with Michael Doherty.
Doherty Racing.
Yeah, Doherty Racing in the
SA Safari
Rally. Sean's also one of his sponsors. And actually, Michael's dad, Billy Doherty from AccuVest, also put some money in for us. So we really appreciate the support that we got. And that was purely just from they wanted to assist South African motocross. So
and that came out of the blue. I mean, we never engaged with Billy. He realized that this event was going on, and he came out of the blue and he said, "Look, guys, I want to put up a sponsorship for you guys. So please send us your banking details." And out of the goodness of his heart, he gave us a great sponsor. It was fantastic that he invested. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. And then we had Warren and James van Staden from Round Square Projects. They put up the prize money, and we were able to offer prize money for every single class for top 3 positions.
Yeah, it was great. I mean,
which is amazing.
Yeah, from that sponsorship, first prize got $500, second prize got $300, and third prize got $200. I mean, I think in the nationals, I don't even think they're sponsoring cash money anymore. I'm not sure.
No, MSA doesn't pay prize money.
I think last year was the last year that they paid prize money.
But even, over and above that, we had so many giveaways, Rob. It was just too many to obviously just talk through, to be honest. I think we cannot overestimate how many prizes we gave away. We had massage vouchers that were sponsored by Complete Balance. We had oil sponsorships from ATM Chip Tuning, John Murdoch Eaton. We had... we gave away so much product. We gave Rocket Racing, gave us some product to give away. May's Auto, Bruce May in Underberg, he gave us some products to give away, like tie-downs and shirts. There was so much commitment to just giving away. I don't even know. I don't think anyone walked away with nothing besides, I didn't get a prize, Rob.
No, I didn't.
Can I get one of these trophies? I won't tell anyone I didn't deserve one and I didn't get top 3.
Talk about the trophies, Lee
Clements.
Lee Clements went and sponsored all these trophies. We got Piranha Racing Products to actually put them all together for us, but Lee Clements sponsored all the trophies. There was a trophy for everyone, first, second, and third on the podium. And they're fantastic. It really turned out really nicely.
Yeah, and then Rossi came on board also. Last minute, Rossi came on board and sponsored the Whole Shot Award, which
that was really exciting.
Was amazing.
Yeah, that was really exciting because it made the whole day interesting. Everyone had an opportunity to win money at the end of the day. What happened was that they set up a whole shot prize, 5,000 rands worth of cash. Was a winner-take-all situation, and our pro rider, who's currently riding the SA Safari Rally at the moment, Brad Cox, he's on the Sherco. He ended up winning the day with his 5,000 rand whole shot prize. So well done to Brad.
And what was lucky to see is it was so much excitement and people stayed. That was the last event of the day.
Kept everyone invested in the day.
Everyone invested in the day, and even though old school, nostalgic. Rubber band start, it worked out amazing.
Yeah, it worked a treat.
We didn't have obviously fancy start gates, but obviously the guys who worked out how to read the rubber, they did well, and it was really exciting. I think Ricky Snedden was quite disappointed that he fluffed that one. We all had money on Ricky, and Ricky, you let us down, man. But Ricky, it was good to have guys like you on board. Ricky also sponsored a prize. He sponsored a service on a motorbike. So Ricky also put in his hand.
Other sponsors we had Greg Hayes, who put some money towards the TLB. As
well as brush cutters. We had some brush cutters
and
there with
brush cutters. Yeah, we had Peter Corkin that put in some. He put $3 grand worth of cash into the sponsorship pot, and over and above that, he put in $3,000 worth of start line vouchers. So there was 6 vouchers of 500 Rand each, start line vouchers.
Yeah, and Peter's still one of those guys pulling thorns out of his hands from helping clean up. So Peter was there helping us clean up, and he got to tackle a thorn tree. And I think a month later, the thorn tree is still winning. So thank you, Startline. Thank you, Paul Ward. Thanks for your contributions to the event.
Yeah, thank you. Another TLB sponsor on the last day before the event, Simon Poole from Robertson and Poole Construction. He came down and brought his TLB free of charge, free diesel, just like Brendan did for us, and basically cut the whole parking platform for us and made it a fantastically flat area for both the pits and the parking area. As it turns out, we completely underestimated how many vehicles are going to be there. That's the fact that all the vehicles are parked up on the side of the road. But anyway, thank you, Simon, for your investment in the TLB as well.
And then I know we've mentioned before, Sean Tormey painted the control tower. So thanks for that. That's a sponsorship from Thatch Roof Services. And then Giffy came along and painted the Hammarsdale Harriers sign for us. Thank you, Giffy. It really, really does look amazing.
It just really sort of took it up a level as far as how the venue looked and what have you. Conrad from Redline Emergency, the ambulance services, those guys donated their ambulance for the day free of charge. They were fantastic. They were there on time. It was an amazing effort from them. They were empathetic. I had to go. Embarrassing to say this, I got a mouthful of sand and I was battling to breathe. I was coughing, and so they gave me a nebulizer without even asking questions. Very empathetic and very professional. So I would recommend them 100%. I was very impressed with their service.
Yeah, and they looked after Gareth Ireland when he had his crash. Correct. And he's fine, guys. Been chatting with him a little bit here and there. Good. He's all good. Broken nose. Some would say it's going to help, but I'm not the judge of that. So get well, Gareth.
Steve from
Steve Baker, guys. Steve Baker gave us a bobcat
for the day to clean up the mini track. All the jumps were a little bit lumpy, and he managed to machine them all down nicely and make it safe for the kiddies on the kiddies track with the peewees. Yeah.
Cool, Rob. So that's a lot of sponsors. I'm sorry if we have missed any out. Yeah. I mean, we really don't want to forget anyone. We'll download someone to the site and just sort of give another thank you to everyone. In terms of everyone that contributed, because it was big, it was small, everything helped. Yes, guys were walking away with prizes.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
It was really, really nice. Yeah. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that everyone walks away with something. Rob, what was your favorite part of the day?
Favorite part of the day? I think when our race was being, we were waiting on the start line, and I was waiting on the start line, and I was parked next to Billy, and he said to me, "Rob, look at this." So I said, "What are we looking at?" Because I was obviously concerned about what was going on with my my race prep and what have you. He said, "No, shut up and look at what I'm looking at." So I turned and I looked, and we looked back at the whole the parking area and the control tower and what have you. He said, "You know what? We did this. This is just flipping amazing. How cool is this? This is," and it was a sort of a really nostalgic moment for him. And I actually ended up appreciating it with him because, with all that's going on during the day, you obviously lose track of, to stand back and actually enjoy what you're actually experiencing, enjoy it and be in the moment and be present and all the rest of it. And he actually stood back and he said to me, "Have a look at this. Look how amazing this is." And we looked, and there was probably 600, 700 people all standing on the edge of the parking, all staring down the start straight, all looking at us like it was a motocross national. It was just such a nostalgic moment for me to appreciate that with Billy, because I'm convinced through what we've done over the last, I would say, 6 months with our committee meetings and all the rest of it, that we've put at least 10, 15 years extra onto Billy's life, because he's been so excited this whole period of time. He's been so excited. He's been in his element. I mean, what we haven't mentioned is the fact that...
What you're not understanding, he's in Dubai at the moment on holiday with Sean.
Yes.
Gunny says he's just lying down in bed. He's tired.
So he went and he painted boxes, and we put them on the finish line. That He put boxes over the posts, and and he painted with his templates a finish, and he put the start. He put signs all over the show. There's Sturgeon Towers are up there because obviously Roy had originally built the Sturgeon Towers and now reinvested to help us fix the Sturgeon Towers. And SRG signs all over the show. I mean, he really went to town with regards to getting invested himself and making sure that everything.
Signboards on the roads, like all the things he used to do. Climbing up at the pole, putting the speakers up. I think it just brought back so many memories for him, fond memories of what he has done and given the sports. And not to forget Gunny, and she was also just loving the day and just.
Just amazing. Her, I've never done this before, so for me, I was relying a lot on them to actually get us through the day. So their experience in running PMA for many, many years actually came to the fore because they understood what needed to be done, when it needed to be done, and how it was done. I mean, we had an event that ran like clockwork. Everyone was on the start line at the right time. Everyone was let off at the right time. We actually made up time. We lost a bit of time because obviously we had some issues with regards to timing chips and what have you, but we actually ended up making up time over the day, and we finished before our schedule was supposed to finish. So that's testament to a set of organizers
and well planned.
Yeah. So that was the best part of my day, just standing next to Billy and looking at the nostalgic sort of event as a whole and saying, wow, this is just amazing how we got the whole motocross community to come together on a day and enjoy the day with each other. It was really fantastic.
For me, I'm going to answer the question I asked as well, is just to see people's ability to give and how gracious they were in sponsorship, and then just to see people smiling on the day and happy and almost joyful to see each other, like people that haven't seen each other for years. For me, that was the big thing. I got so many hugs from people that I haven't seen for many, many years.
Yeah.
So for me, my favorite part of the day was that component of just the people component and the excitement. I mean, Keith Lyons for me was probably the winner. He was just beaming. Was just beaming and loving the day.
Yeah.
So it's lucky that we were able to impart or give that to people and give back. So yeah, it was awesome.
That was cool.
Okay, Rob. Are we going to do it again?
Blaine, I'm sure it's not really my decision to make, but in the end, I think, that's the question that it's the most common question that has been asked of me. Are we going to have another event? And truly, if we've got the energy, I think we should. I think we should have another event. I think we should have it at the same time that we hosted this event. Obviously, we need to find out race schedules, and where everyone fits into the.
And just to build on that, Rob. So we did get a bit of unhappiness about the date of the event, and we need to work around that. We're very conscious of that. The event also ties in with Mother Nature, and historically, that week or weekend or that period is the best time of the year to have it. So I want to just put it out there that is kind of, if we do it again, would be the timing where we would want to do it, purely because Mother Nature smiled on us.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, we had torrential rain for 2 weeks prior to that. We were really worried that the track was going to be too wet to ride. In the end, Hammarsdale is such that it is able to hold water really, really well. And we, on the day, didn't even have to have a water cart because the weather itself had soaked the track so nicely over the period of time, and we'd done an exceptional job at making sure that the levees were built up so that it didn't wash the track away down the hill. We pushed all that sand to the top of the hill, and it all kept nicely. It soaked in nice and deep. So on the day, we didn't have any issues with regards to dust or anything like that. The water effectively held the track together. We didn't have the need for a water cart the whole day. And it was just perfect.
So it really, really worked out well. So which is great. Well, that's to be decided, guys. We will decide as a committee in the new year. We'll have a look at dates and decide if we want to do this again. I think there is a call for it. Just keep showing us the love.
Yeah.
And we'll very much consider it.
Yeah. And please, guys, try your best, if you're still interested in riding, to come and ride at Hammarsdale. Come and enjoy the track with us. We ride there every single Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and then just to add on to an event. So what we want to look at possibly is, Rob and I have discussed this, is do 1 or 2 practice days,
Yeah.
organized practice days, which would be a bit of a work. So from a water cart point of view, with a bit of machining before the event, just to have something at the track and to keep the Hammarsdale alive.
Yeah.
That's sort of the plan. That's what we're thinking. We want to look at also maybe possibly 1 or 2 riding schools. We've got some expertise in Rod Bergstrom. We've got some expertise in a couple of other riders that belong to Hammarsdale Harriers that I'm sure would want to have a riding school day and give back, guys. We want to just make sure we develop and maintain. So that's twofold: maintain the facility for our kids,
Yeah, and grow the
and
sport.
others,
Let's grow the
and let's
sport.
grow the sport. So that's our whole objective, and I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, our biggest concern, as us as parents, I'm talking of a parent now, is us kids getting lost in social media and lost in their phones and all the rest of it. For me, as a father, I wanted to make sure that my kids, when we did an activity together, had 2 hands that they couldn't hold onto a cell phone, and what better sport do you need is a motocross bike you have to hold on with 2 hands, So from that perspective,
I tried one. It didn't work so well, but I did save it. Just after the start over that jump. I hit those. I lost a hand.
Michael Jackson.
I did a Michael Jackson. It wasn't pretty, but I saved it.
Yeah. So for me, a family sport that everyone it's a healthy sport. It keeps you fit. It keeps you focused, and it's an opportunity to come and enjoy the day with your friends. Please don't just make this a one-off day. Come and ride with us. We ride every Sunday, as I say, at 9:00 in the morning. There's always going to be people there. Let me dispel the myths. I've had a few questions about whether it's safe or not. It's very safe at Hammarsdale. Now that we've developed the place and we've invested back into property, people are aware that we use the facility a lot now.
Yeah,
we've never had an incident for the last 15 years there.
I mean, we even had the airsoft guys show up on the weekend. About 20 airsoft guys came and played in the bush down the hill from us with the paintball guns. And that's their kind of terrain as well. But the more people that use it, the better for everyone. And that's what the facility is there for. It is safe. It's not like in the old days when there was a dump down the road. That dump is no longer there. So there is no need for people to hang around there. So it is safe. So please come ride on a Sunday. You can go ride there during the week. It is open. We do ask, guys, if you are going to ride there, a little contribution into the kitty is always grateful for us to be able to continue to maintain. And we will look forward and see what we're going to do next. But I think, Rob, let's close out. I just want to, from my side, obviously thank everyone involved. And then I think mainly for yourself, thank you for your contributions. I think you were the steering or the driver. What would you say? You drove this the most.
The bus conductor.
You were the bus conductor, and really appreciate your efforts in this.
Thank you.
I think you brought back a lot of happiness to a lot of people, and thank you so much for your efforts.
Yeah, no, and thank you too, Blaine. Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you, bud.
Signing out.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks.